I don't know about you, but I've been feeling, well, a lot of complex emotions lately. I've been feeling kind of antsy, like I want to get out, but I can't get out because COVID, because of this and that. I've been feeling very worried and stressed about what's going on in the world with Ukraine happening, Russians invading them, the economic situation, the price of food has gone sky high, the price of gas has gone sky high. Um, and then I've got my own other little dilemmas. My Bell provider, which is my internet, has been giving me problems. And, the banking system, I'm trying to, get my mother's estate settled, and they're not being very cooperative. It just feels like everything's coming in all at once, and you just want to just scream. Well, I don't. Now, screaming is actually not a bad thing. Therapists say that sometimes to unleash pent up emotions and that, just by having a good old fashioned primal scream, or even a good old fashioned breakdown and cry in the privacy of your own home, of course, is good therapy for you. Now, there's a lot of people who also talk about actual therapy, going to a professional, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, that kind of thing. People finding someone you can talk to and, a shoulder to cry on or bend an ear with, everything that you're feeling. And that supposedly will help. And yeah, it probably will. It probably won't solve any of the situation, but it probably will. And that's the other problem that gives us stress too, is that we feel great stress when we don't see a solution to a problem coming up anytime soon. For example, let's look at COVID. You know, 2 years ago, when this thing started, we thought it would be over in a couple of weeks. Then it went into a month or two, and then 6 months, and then suddenly it's a year, and then we're all looking, well, it's going to be better by come Christmas, by the summer, by whatever. And it didn't, did it? And that created more stress in our lives as well. And now we have the stress of, well, actually, COVID fatigue is what I want to call it, where we're so tired of this. We're almost to the point where we're saying, and some people are saying, the hell with it. I take my chances with COVID. I'm going to live my life. Okay. But, all these different things that happen to us, the stress that comes in just everyday living, stress from your job, stress from your family, whatever, barring all of these extraneous and extraordinary situations like, Russians attacking Ukraine and economic uncertainty, and of course, the big disease as well. So, how do we find some relief in all of this? I find quilting is my therapy. Now, I have robbed that expression from Angela Walters because that's what she uses all the time. Quilting is her therapy. So, I'm kind of borrowing from Angela Walters. However, it's a good philosophy, or at least it's a good tactic, a good strategy, because quilting is my therapy. This is why. First of all, it inspires me and clicks into that part of my brain that is the creative part of it. And when I'm using my creative brain, I don't have any time or room in my brain to think about reality, as in, what's happening outside. I am completely and 100% involved with my creative mind. And that is my area of imagination. And in my imagination, anything can happen. Now, you can have a negative imagination, but I tend to go with the positive imagination and think about, what can I do? I find inspiration when I look at my shelves of fabric, the colors, the patterns. All of that stimulates that creative side of my brain and brings me a lot of comfort, a lot of joy, which dispels the disparity I might be feeling at any given moment. But it's more than just that. That in itself helps, but it's temporary. It only lasts a few minutes. but it can be extended to last longer if you then take those things you've been imagining and put them into practice. So, what if I was to take this fabric, that pattern combination, and put it together and make a quilt? Well, now I'm engaging my whole mind in this process. I'm engaging both my creative side and my analytical side because creating a quilt involves a great deal of analysis and mathematical equations to get things to work right. So when your brain is really filled with all of this, there is no room to worry about anything else. And that gives me, at least for me, gives me relief. It's therapy. When I'm sitting at my sewing machine and I'm putting pieces of pretty fabric together, I am feeling relaxed. Even if I make a mistake, I'm feeling relaxed because I have control. This is something I can control. I make the decisions, I make the plan, I do the work. It's all about me. There is no room for any other people, any other worries, any other situations outside of my brain. This is all about me. And that is a form of therapy. Focusing on yourself. That's what wellness coaches tell you to do. They tell you to focus on your own well-being. And so that's what quilting does for me. And I think any hobby, if we extend it beyond quilting, for me it's quilting. For somebody else, it's card making or scrapbooking or paper crafting or crochet or knitting, whatever. Anything that is creative, because it's that creative mode that you're in that locks out what's happening outside of us, the things we don't have control over. But we have control over our creative process. We make decisions, we decide what we're going to do, and if we make a mistake, we don't need to get uptight about it because we know we can correct that mistake. And we do. So that's why I say quilting, or any creative hobby you may have, whatever it is. It could be woodworking, it could be, I don't know, anything. Anything that brings you joy and takes you away, momentarily, but away from the stress of living. And that, I think, is a good thing. So yes, Angela Walters is right. Quilting is her therapy. Quilting is my therapy. And I hope you can find some therapeutic activity for yourself as well that will help you get over the stress that happens to us on a daily basis.